I'm really considering taking overhead squatting really seriously. Today I didn't squat at all. Normally I just overhead squatted. I decided to push the overhead squat as much as I could. I wanted to see what I was capable of. It's kind of scary because the bar is way overhead and the shoulders are on an island. It's a very unbalanced feeling. There's so many things happening. Your brain is on fire that you can't just push with your legs. You need to kind of push with a degree of, traction in mind. It's an analogy with cars. You can't just, drop the clutch from 9 grand and expect to go really fast. No. Pushing as hard as you can or accelerating as hard as you can might not necessarily bring the fastest times or the heaviest weights on the bar. That's very true when it comes to overhead squatting. You need to be very mindful of your positions. You need to be mindful of where the bar is, all of the elements involved in the system to keep the bar overhead. So today I played around, warmed up, and I got to 60 kilos for a set of 3. Now I try to bring the grip in a little bit closer. Purely because my wrists feel like they're getting snapped up when I'm really wide. There's just this freaking lateral force on the wrists that frankly makes me not very strong. I don't know. I don't know if it's the benching, I don't know what it is, but the wrists are like unusually in a bad position. So I thought, let me try and bring it in a little bit. But the more I brought it in, the more force I required, to keep the bar up. The bar kind of wants to stay overhead a little bit easier when I have a wide grip. The narrower I went, the more the bar wanted to go forward. So it was a balancing act. Very much so a balancing act. But I got 60 times 3. And I'm looking forward to working with overhead squats, I want to say every day. I really want to say every day. But I'm kind of afraid of that because I feel like the whole system is going to take a dump. In the sense of this is going to wreck me. Yesterday I did 10 sets of 10 overhead squats. 5 of those sets were with just a bar. The other 5 sets were with 30 kilos. So very taxing. The benching felt horrible today, probably because my upper back is fried. The cleans felt crappy as well. I don't know why. Probably because the whole system's fried. So I couldn't get 120 kilos on the clean today. So this is the thing, man. I keep thinking about this. I keep talking about this. There is sequencing. There is prioritization when you're training. Some things just don't go well, with other things. Overhead squatting, I feel like, is so taxing. Maybe because I'm so early in the piece. I'm very early in the piece of learning what the hell is going on with this stuff. And so there's inflammation everywhere. I've got soreness in muscles, which I remember for years trying to target with rowing, with all sorts of variations. And those muscles are like in between the shoulder blades, just underneath the shoulder blades. These are like rhomboids, lower rhomboids, like middle, lower traps, all that stuff. Man, I've never felt these muscles in my life like this. So if you're sitting down or if you're standing up and you try to kind of like put your chin in, like good posture, right? And you kind of stick your chest out. Well, those muscles which are doing that, thoracic extension, they are sore right now, like DOMs. And so these muscles, these very difficult muscles, are postural muscles. So when you are rowing, when you are pull-upping, none of these muscles, all the years that I've tried all these different exercises, I've never felt that. Never. So these muscles, I want to say they are postural muscles. They will come into play when you assume certain positions, like squatting with your hands overhead, like working overhead. I guess, I don't know, do painters have really strong rhomboids? I don't know. Do electricians? Who else? I don't know. Somebody that works, with their hands above their head. I don't know what other professions, spend a lot of time with their hands above their head. I don't know. Fruit pickers. I don't know. Probably there's machinery to do that now. But yeah, I'm just thinking to myself, like, I always have these thoughts. I'd love to, like, take these people who are spending most of their day with working overhead, trades which have them doing something over their head. I would love to like take these people and like put them on the bench press, just raw, untrained, to see what they're able to do and compare it to the general population, whether they have, better ability, better benching. Because the whole idea with bench pressing is your ability to stabilize the scapula, especially off the chest. They say if you're weak off the chest, it could be a number of things, but one of the things that is high on the list is simply upper back strength. And now that I've fried my freaking upper back, I feel very shaky at the bottom of the bench press. So I don't have that pop off the chest. I mean, I hit 140 today, but usually it feels a lot better. So I think overhead squats are front squats on steroids. Front squats require you to really pay attention to your posture. Make sure you're upright. Make sure you're pushing not just as hard as you can, but also with posture. Your body needs to work together to keep this bar on your shelf. With overhead squatting, man, that is times by 10. I don't know what the strength standards are, like, between front and back squats and whatnot. I've seen some freaky stuff online with Lou, with Tian Tao, with these boys. Obviously, these guys are masters with the bar overhead. There's freaks out there, obviously. But, 60 kilos for me was difficult, very, very difficult. So what is that? Like, I don't even know, like 30% of my max? Of my max front squat. It's, long way to go. I'm just, I've read some of your comments, you guys saying that it might not carry over as much as you think, but for somebody like me, for somebody that has such troubles staying upright in the squat, I think there will be some very good benefits, because this thing teaches you, unforgivingly, ruthlessly teaches you, if you don't stay upright, night, it's finished. The bar's dropping. It's impossible to do the overhead squat leaning over. It ain't gonna work. So as the weight goes up over the following months, it's gonna be more and more of an emphasis to keep upright, because as that weight gets heavier, as that load gets heavier, you're gonna have less and less margin for error, because the gravity goes straight down, man. And if you try to move that bar a little bit forward, like 2 millimeters, all of a sudden there's momentum in that bar, and there's no muscles in your upper back that are gonna stop that momentum if you have 100 kilos on your back, over your head. So it's gonna just fold you over, or it's gonna just drop the bar. So I'm thinking about really focusing on overhead squats, but I'm really mindful that it might screw everything else up. So let's see how it goes. I'll play around with it. I really don't want this to ruin the bench pressing period that I've had for the last 2 months. But let's see. I have to give it more thought and see what happens. I also think, again, I could be wrong, I also think these overhead squats will do wonders for the deadlift. Something about these muscles that are in my rhomboids, the middle traps, lower traps, I feel like these things will carry over. Like having stronger sets of those, I think will do wonders to stabilize the upper back when you're pulling off the floor in a deadlift, conventional deadlift. Anyway, guys, gotta get out of here. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.